This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Greetings and welcome to Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody. With me are Kyle and Eric.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Well, we had to call a mulligan on last week's podcast.
Yeah.
Had a little technical issues with the recording equipment.
So sorry about that, guys.
It was
And
perfect. It was the greatest
It
thing
was
you
the
would have
greatest.
ever heard
Yeah.
in your
It
life.
might have been the best podcast in the world.
Right.
It
Hands
was.
down.
It was.
At least top
It was
5.
passionate, fiery at times.
It got
insightful.
heated. Chairs were thrown around.
Yeah.
Just take our word for it.
Yeah, amazing. And then the recorder didn't record any of it.
Well, it
we
recorded me and Kyle, but
Guys,
just
it didn't
a whole-
record any of it, okay?
It was not Cody's fault. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not my fault at all.
yeah, that was our official Captain Marvel discussion. But now we're just gonna give you
Have
a
it
nice
again.
little streamlined one.
A
I guess.
streamlined version of our main arguments
Yeah,
against
because we
and
have
for
we're gonna have
hot
we're gonna have
takes.
2 podcast episodes in one day.
in one
so
day. It's gonna be a long podcasting day. Did you guys get all your fluids? Are you like
I have my water
caffeinated?
bottle here
Are we
that I
ready to
spilled
go?
over my
I have
crotch.
to pee. No, I'm kidding.
Already. I told you to go before the podcast.
I tried. I didn't get to it.
That
forgot.
happens.
I forgot.
Just
Or
was
no,
so
I have to go
excited.
again.
Well, let's get into it really
Yeah.
quick. We last week reviewed Captain Marvel after we had all seen it. And a week later, it's digested.
Yep.
What are our thoughts on it still?
I actually saw it a second time.
Because he
Kyle-
loved it so
Kyle
much.
loved it. Didn't think that Brie Larson was terrible at
I
acting.
actually did enjoy myself a little more with my second viewing, but my thoughts, Eric, will you please stop sneezing?
It's one of my sneeze
bless
cough
you.
hybrids.
Ugh, I did enjoy
Sorry.
it a little more the second time, but my thoughts on it are still the same, if that makes sense.
So we all decided, well, at least Erica and I decided that
Yeah.
it was probably an average Marvel movie.
It
Somewhere
was
right
so
in the
middle of the road. It was like
Yeah.
just as average as it gets.
And
Yeah,
had
I agree
kinda
with that.
Thought it was not my least favorite, but it was down there. It was below the middle line for me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, there are parts that are slightly above the middle line. There's a couple parts that are definitely below. Overall, the movie is the middle line.
Right.
I would
Yeah,
say.
that's a good way. Like, there's definitely cool moments. Like, the space shots were great, and the CGI works well, especially with their powers.
yeah.
but
All visual effects look good.
Yes,
'Cause
I
it's a
mean,
Marvel movie. It looks
yeah,
pretty
they
cool.
do a good job with their visual effects, especially lately. But
Ben
yeah,
Mendelsohn.
just the whole movie in general just isn't stepping up anything. It's not really reinvigorating the franchise or superhero movies in general at all. Like, it just feels very safe and bland at times, at a lot of times.
Yeah, there are a few good parts. Like I like Ben Mendelsohn as the big twist. He's a good guy
That was clever, and he was very good. Yeah.
because I love Ben Mendelsohn. I thought Samuel Jackson, his de-aging wasn't super distracting at all.
I've heard people say that it was, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I didn't really get it.
It still looks good to me.
He was fine. He was funny. I can't say the same about Brie Larson though.
No.
That was probably my biggest complaint. Is
Yeah,
just
that's
her.
where we differ for sure.
I think she looks the part, but she just didn't. I don't know if they had a clear direction for her to act in.
No, I
I
don't think
feel
so.
like they didn't know who Captain Marvel, what way they wanted her to be.
And I feel
she
like
wasn't fully fleshed out, and you can't
Well,
act unless you have a fully fleshed out
yeah,
character.
and I can imagine people's arguments to that is like, well, she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't remember her past. And it's like I think that's a cop
you
out
still
answer.
have emotions.
Yeah,
You're still a person.
I don't know. There's just 5 too many times where she's just kind of standing really still, saying her lines. I couldn't tell if she's trying to be snarky or sarcastic or throw the words back at their face or mock them. I don't know. And she didn't seem like the nicest person. I don't know.
I definitely agree with you guys that the direction and the way she's written doesn't help anything in terms of building a character at all. But I do think Brie Larson did a solid job in the role, given for what she had to work with. I understand the points being made though that like she does seem wooden, but it didn't bother me all that much. I don't know what it was. Maybe it could be a little bit of fanboyism too. I could admit to that, but I don't know. With how good Brie Larson is, I felt like she did a lot better than people are giving her credit for.
Fanboyism of Marvel or of Brie Larson?
Both.
See,
Yes.
I thought she was a fantastic
Rose-colored
actress.
goggles on her acting abilities.
For
I thought
sure.
she was a fantastic, because she is, Short Term 12 and Room.
She won
she's
her
a
Oscar for
phenomenal
Room,
actress, or she has proven that she's capable of that. But I don't know. In this movie, she didn't elevate any of the already pretty serviceable generic dialogue. I don't know. She just didn't add any sort of spark to the character.
Well, I think that brings me to our third point, or our second point, which was that this film, for me, doesn't do what Wonder Woman did for representation of women superheroes. It didn't
Right.
elevate it. It didn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't. I don't know. That seems to be something that everybody just keeps praising. Is like, oh, Marvel's first female superhero.
If you strip all of that away,
Right.
yeah, whoa, Marvel finally made a movie with a female lead. And it's like, okay, yes, that's cool. It's about time. The movie, that doesn't make the movie good, though.
And I would argue that there were already strong female characters
Yeah.
in the universe that were way more badass than
Yeah.
what was represented on screen.
Yeah,
with
it's
her.
like if Captain Marvel is the best you have if this is going to be your big like flagship moment,
yeah.
your cultural milestone, it's like
I would have taken an Agent Carter movie over
Yeah.
this.
yeah.
I loved Agent Carter.
Yeah, by the sounds of the director and Brie Larson, they are trying to make a female-led superhero movie kind of be not a cultural phenomenon, but just a way to impact the world culturally and
Yeah.
politically.
I get
in a
exactly what you're
sense,
saying.
but it doesn't come across as that really.
No.
which isn't a
Well, that's
which isn't
the
a
thing,
bad
like,
thing for me. Like it doesn't need
you
to,
kinda
but
have-
if you're trying to and it lands in the way that it did, then I feel like that's not. You didn't do a
You
good
missed
job
the
with your
mark.
mission. Yeah, you
Yeah.
missed the mark on that.
Well, to me, that's what's frustrating about this whole thing, because the movie itself is almost irrelevant. People aren't really talking about the movie or the story
Right.
of the movie or the character of Captain Marvel. They're talking about what a big moment it is that Marvel's finally making this their first female-led superhero film. And it's just, I don't know. The movie is just nothing better than your average Marvel movie. But because it happens to be, Brie Larson happens to be the lead, I feel like there are so many headlines being written about the wrong things.
Exactly. I would agree with that too. I was disappointed because you were led to believe this was supposed to be such a representation of women on screen and as superheroes, and then you get there and it's just boring and bland. And I would say that DC and Wonder Woman totally beat Marvel to the punch, and Wonder Woman so far out exceeds
Wonder Woman
that.
2?
Yeah, Wonder Woman would be the better movie.
Obviously, Wonder
in
Woman
general.
ended up being huge, but
Yeah.
it had long legs. It wasn't this
Right.
huge phenomenon right out of the gate.
But it was so good. It grew
Yeah,
and
it
grew
backed
and
it
grew.
up. And unlike Captain Marvel, maybe this is overly cynical, but it felt like going into Captain Marvel, the whole narrative of this being this big, huge moment, was already kind of made. That's why people are going to see, the first female-led Marvel movie.
Right.
But Wonder Woman just kind of came out, and people realized that it was really good, and then they're like, "Huh, like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
who would have thought?"
There was definitely skepticism with Wonder Woman because it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
really known that
Oh, yeah.
superhero-led movies could be successful. Like there was a lot of flops that happened before it when people tried that. But it wasn't this angry backlash or anything that kind of what happened
Yeah.
with Marvel's Captain Marvel, which that part was unfortunate and I didn't like. But
I
yeah,
find it's-
you make a good point that it
Right.
didn't seem like it was
Well,
that
the movie
big
just
of a
kind of
deal
came
at the
out.
time.
It was made it was a labor of love for everybody involved, and for the most part, the movie ended up being great. People
Yeah.
recognized that, and then the movie went on to become a phenomenon. And I feel like with Captain Marvel, they're basically trying to do that same thing, but with a Marvel hero.
Yeah.
But the movie just does not
Well,
back it
I think
up.
they skipped the steps of it being a labor of love and a slow simmer and people discovering a really fleshed out character. They skipped all that and just went right to the praise. And I feel like it's unwarranted. It's unearned.
I mean, there's no way it's going to be a slow burn because, people are seeing this so that they know who this character is when she shows up in Endgame. Like, a huge amount of people. That is probably their main reason for seeing this.
Right.
Not everybody, but I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Will say, though, a third point that we didn't make on our last podcast, but I wanted to bring it up in this one, was Brie Larson did look the part. Like, I liked her her costuming. I liked her like special effects and her hair design
Yeah, I
when
thought
she
the
has
costume was cool.
the space helmet and the cool like
The space helmet and the mohawk are a little
I
cheesy to
love
me.
it.
I don't
I
know.
love it.
It's very
But
fanboy.
Her,
I'm sure it's very faithful.
It's faithful. That's a better way to say it.
but I'm sure like
Fanboy
her
faithful.
her suit had a lot of CG to it, but didn't look like Green Lantern CG. It was still a physical suit in a lot of
Yeah,
scenes.
the suit's real. It was the
And I like
special
Yeah.
effects.
No, I
to
love
make her powers.
most Marvel movies. They get their suits down pretty.
They do.
Their costume design is very good.
It was really good. And I like how she's mostly covered. I know that sounds kind of prude of me, but I'm like, that looks like real armor she would wear.
Yeah, it's practical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
So I like that. That part was good. And then we already talked about the last part was
So that's just kind of the bottom line. It's
little bit.
Totally average movie. Me personally, I thought Brie Larson was kind of bland and not that likable in places.
Right.
But all of the headlines and the narrative around this movie
They
is just
seem
kind
to
of
just
blowing
gloss
out of.
over that
Yeah,
and make
it's-
it into something it wasn't.
It's like I don't know what movie you saw, but it's not that good.
I'm just happy that people are finding enjoyment in it.
Yeah, I mean it's
I was
gonna
a-
be
I'm
it's
a
gonna be
bit
joining
surprised by it.
it's gonna be joining the $1 billion club here pretty soon.
I
In
think
like 3
people were
weeks.
so starved for a good movie, though,
Yeah.
that they were ready for it.
Yeah,
It's
maybe.
about timing, I think, with that one.
Still
So
impressive.
we'll see her again. She looks
Yeah.
a little different, but we saw her again in the Endgame trailer,
Yeah.
which is the whole point of her movie coming out first, was that she was going to make this appearance.
Got to
in
introduce
Endgame.
that character before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the newest Endgame trailer
Newest
debuted
being, like,
last week.
Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and
Those darn technical difficulties throwing everything off.
it was probably the best of the ones we've seen because it had those flashback
Of the one that we've
moments.
seen.
Well, they had that trailer with the
Oh, that Super Bowl spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
You know, I like the kind of take on this. You know, they're just going back to slow motion shots of each of the Avengers' respective origin films, in
And then
like
they're-
this moody black and white with key red accents here and there.
right. And these are the moments that started in the beginning. This is where it all happened, and now this is where it's all ending. And I like the tie back part.
Yeah,
of
no,
that.
they seem to have really nailed the tone of going into this movie. The fact that look at these people that you have been with, that have been with you for like over a decade. Think of all the stuff they've been through, everything
how
they've done,
changed or haven't changed.
and now it's time for them to face
Yep.
the final threat.
and then
Time for them to
It's like,
die.
it's like, oh, jeez.
and then at the
Man,
very
it has
end
been a while, hasn't it?
of that trailer, we get to see a short play between Thor and Captain Marvel, Brie Larson.
Yeah, see, I didn't even really...
That was a nice little send off for that trailer.
Thor was kind of funny, but I don't know. Even there, Captain Marvel was just kind of standing
She didn't
there.
even say anything.
I know.
But she didn't even move.
Right.
She didn't give a facial thing. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, you
She
know?
did.
It's
She's
like, ooh,
smart.
this
She
big,
didn't
scary...
even flinch.
I can't tell when she smirks or anything. She just looks
She's smart.
just so pissed off
And
all
she
the
didn't
time.
flinch at all when the hammer came
No,
by
I get
her.
that. It's cool because it's like, yeah, she's not a scaredy cat. This is
Right.
a big
She's not a coward.
god-killing weapon, and it like whizzed past her hair. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what Thor saw in that moment.
I
don't
just
know
love
either.
I just love the strategy that Marvel is able to do now with this movie. Like they've built up this franchise for so long that they've earned the capabilities to not even really need to have a trailer to sell their movies. Yeah. And when they do, especially for this one, like there's still so much unknown about this. Like they're not showing us anything, but yet they're reminding us of why we love watching these movies in the first place, and we're able to go into this with so much mystery that it's just so ingenious. Like no other movie could probably do that, I don't think.
They
No.
are amazing at creating events around their films. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and especially this one because, you know, one thing I said the first time we tried to do this podcast is obviously I'm like burnt out on the Marvel movie event sort of thing, but even Endgame is still gonna get me like that excited.
Yeah.
It's like I'm buying the stakes of this thing. We've been with these guys for so long, and now knowing that at least hopefully like 3 of them are gonna die,
No.
I'm very excited.
We talked about this. We don't want them to die. We want them to go in the past
Want
and
them
have
to all die.
happy lives, just not in this
I want
time
them
frame.
to all grasp hands and stand in a circle around Thanos and channel their inner energy to defeat him once and for all, but the resulting explosion kills them all in the process.
That kind of
Beautiful.
looks like the end.
Beautifully
like the,
poetic.
The end of Toy Story where you think they're going to get melted
That's
and they
what I
all
was-
hold
that's-
hands.
I was thinking Guardians of the Galaxy, but yeah, that works too.
I
Oh
thought
yeah,
that too.
I guess Guardians.
Before the dance-off happens.
Right.
So no fun dance-off for the
No,
for the
I
guys.
still don't buy the dance off.
I love the dance-off.
He's kind of funny, but I don't buy it.
Well, and then Disney followed up Endgame with a really much better Aladdin trailer.
Yeah.
very,
Much better.
very much better Aladdin
Yeah.
So
trailer.
much really better.
Yeah, the big point we made
Better.
last week and our super insightful talk was that they should have just not done any teasers, nothing, and just should have started with this trailer.
Yeah.
They should end on this trailer.
They shouldn't have showed pictures, nothing. It should have just started with this trailer.
Yeah, because I mean they've had a tough road to get here.
a real roller coaster,
Oh man,
if you will.
They release their images. What is that? Is that Genie? He's not blue. They release a trailer with blue Genie.
Never
oh my
mind.
god! Get him out! Like kill it with fire.
My eyes.
And then they, nothing. They can't make people happy.
No.
But then they release this one, and it's like, oh,
And made people happy.
okay. Who would have thought if you actually show
A little
some
bit more
of
of
the
the
key scenes
story.
from the movie, show a finished CG Genie,
Yeah.
so he doesn't look
Out of proportion and
Like a-
weird.
abomination,
Yeah.
and just play the famous songs or some of the music, the kind of retuned. You know how they kind
Yeah.
of re-record it, but it's the same song. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this trailer was a lot better. And
Yeah.
It's definitely colorful, full of music and energy.
Full of life.
Yeah.
I was sitting there like, okay, maybe I'll see Aladdin.
I liked how colorful they made it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They brought a lot of that. I feel like a Bollywood element to it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
with the singing, the dancing, and the color, and the flowers and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I like that. I feel like that added a lot to it.
Yeah, because before that, all we had is like nighttime shots of sand.
Oh yeah, sweeping sand dunes.
It's like, wow.
This
really
is
fun to look
exciting.
at.
This is Aladdin.
Yay.
No, this is definitely the trailer that they should stick with. And I mean, other than maybe TV spots, don't push for trailers anymore. I think this one has really made people happy and made people a little bit more calm on what to expect in this
Yeah.
movie. They're still gonna get the Aladdin that we know and love, but it's gonna have Guy Ritchie's flavor mixed to it, I'm sure, because Guy Ritchie is the director of this movie. And Will Smith as Genie still looks like blue Will Smith as Genie. It looks better.
Yeah.
CGI does, but
And
it's still, I'm still fine with it. It's
going
still,
pure speculation mode right now. I think that he's going to be blue when Aladdin first meets him and rubs that lamp.
yeah.
But then, the second they're done introducing each other after that big musical number, he'll probably, like we saw in the trailer, turn into that kind of not blue Genie.
He'll turn
Just
into
with
Will
lots
Smith.
of eccentric, lots of eccentric jewelry and
Especially when he's in
fashion.
public and
yeah.
When
He'll
Jaf-
just
Do you
just
think
kind of
he'll
be
turn red when Jafar gets a hold of him?
I
His
hope so.
color.
That would actually be really
I forgot
cool.
about that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That could happen.
He's scary and
I don't know
red.
if
and
this Jafar could take hold of Will Smith.
Turn red.
This Jafar is so lame.
yeah.
I mean,
I
I
mean-
say that just because how he comes across in
Just
the trailer. He's just
initially-
this young, spoiled, entitled, pretty boy.
Just maybe
With a
that's
high pitched voice. That I
maybe
don't
that's
like.
the angle they're going with,
No,
with
I-
Jafar. I
I
don't know.
get it. I'm sure it'll work.
Do you
but
think it was uncomfortable to see old man Jafar want to marry Jasmine? So they're like, we'll make him a little
That's
younger.
actually
Sure,
a
that's
good-
probably part
that's
of it.
actually a good point. I didn't think about that.
yeah, because Jafar was
That was always
he was
uncomfortable.
not
for me.
Jasmine's same age in the
No,
original, was
and
he?
he made her a slave to him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe the more that we
it's
think
not
of,
funny.
we were supposed to make fun of it, but now that we're thinking about it, this might make more sense.
Yeah.
We'll
he still
see.
has a silly voice though.
The voice is very jarring because we just don't know Jafar as that.
Yeah.
But
And I
maybe
gotta
the
say that,
actor
and
will
it's
pull it off.
obviously it sounds funny because it's an edited trailer and it's
Yeah.
taken out of context.
right.
Right.
But I just want to say
So I have
the
to rip
music
on
sounds
something.
incredible.
It's an Aladdin trailer. I gotta find something to rip on.
Yeah, there's always something.
Other than Jafar though,
solid,
solid trailer.
very
Yeah,
well done.
So much better. Then the next trailer that we were going to dissect into was the Good Boys trailer.
Oh yeah.
It was a Red Band trailer that we have featured on our site.
Right?
And I feel like with those rated R comedies, you have to see the Red Band trailers.
Oh yeah.
To get
Those
the
just-
full.
If you ever try and watch
feeling
a
of
classic
it.
like raunchy R-rated comedy just on TV, Oh, it's so bad.
I
It's
know.
brutal.
Oh, I hate it.
It takes like this. It cuts the soul out of.
I was
the
trying to watch
movie.
Step Brothers randomly with like my dad had it on,
Boats and hoes.
and it was like
Yeah, what would it be?
Every
instead?
other
Boats
line,
and toes
it was
or
like-
something. Like,
Boats.
It would just be the
Yeah,
Catalina.
just boats.
It would just be the Catalina wine mixer.
Right. Yeah, it was.
censored R-rated comedies are terrible. But
This
good
one,
thing this Red Band trailer wasn't censored.
right?
And it was good.
Yeah.
It follows some middle school boys on their quest to learn how to kiss before the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
about
a
it. Mm-hmm.
super condensed synopsis. And the shenanigans they get into, which are adult and scary. And
Well, the dad is Will Forte, and he has
Yeah.
a drone, which is like his prized possession. And in their research on how to kiss, they end up
losing their drone.
losing / kind of damaging the drone. And so then they're like, oh no, my dad's going to kill me. So they have to go on an adventure to either repair or reclaim the drone.
Yeah.
So it's a very silly, low stakes, totally middle schooler type plot. But then when you pepper in all of the
Adult
wacky
stuff.
hijinks that happen
Yeah.
along
The
the way.
wacky adult hijinks.
So I love me a dirty rated R comedy. I just love it. I laugh so hard. Poop humor is hilarious to me.
Well, I mean, it's some of the minds of Superbad, and obviously it's not being subtle about the fact that it is literally Superbad Junior. You know,
Yeah.
Superbad for middle schoolers. Because they're what? I think they're just entered the 6th grade.
Yeah, they're
Right.
12. They're 12 years old. They're not even teenagers. Okay, 12 people.
those days.
So the part of me that loves raunchy comedy is like, this looks hilarious, and then the mother of me is horrified, absolutely horrified. I did not like it at all.
Face your fears.
I think
I was
Seth
like, those are
Rogen
my
would love to
babies.
hear that. He would just be like, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
There's a part in the trailer where he's like, my mom is my best friend. I'm like, yeah, at that age she still should be. I hope my
they're-
children are still my best friends.
I remember you say that to your husband, and he was just like, sure.
Yeah, no, the chemistry of these kids, and I mean, Jacob Tremblay obviously is the kid from Room, also with Brie Larson.
He should have been nominated for an Oscar, too.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in that. This is a totally different type of role, but
It's
he's proven
awesome.
himself to be a very, very talented child actor. I can't
Yeah.
remember the names of the other two kids, but their chemistry, purely from this trailer alone, it looks perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I think some of them came from TV, but I can't recall their names either.
So I don't know what to do with this movie. Like, I'm really excited because I really want a good comedy.
Oh, I think
and-
it's gonna do great. I think.
but I think it's going to horrify so many adults, so many mommies out there.
Well, they should also read the rating before going
No.
to see this.
No, it's not nothing to do with the rating. It has
Okay.
everything to do with there's
'Cause
still
you have to-
little,
Everything,
little boys.
everything to it's well, yeah. Your kid, they do these things. You can put it out of sight, out of mind, but they're still happening.
A lot of adult stuff is going to happen that these kids should not be seeing yet.
Oh, this is going to be tough for me. I don't know how to tamp down the mama instincts
Yeah, I
and
don't-
enjoy the movie.
I'm wondering like how you're going to react to that one. That's for sure.
I know, because I really,
I know we're going to have a good time
Yeah.
watching
Oh, it's
it.
gonna
It'll be
yeah,
good.
It's gonna be
but-
I
hilarious.
really like comedies, but then there's going to be this part of me that's going to be so horrified. Like, no, they're just children.
They're still babies.
Gotta
Where's
grow
their
up
mamas?
sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it looks great. Superbad
Junior.
When does that come out? August 16th.
Yeah, it comes out end of summer, so it'll
Still a
be a
ways
good
out.
end of summer movie.
Still a ways out.
And then the last one, which was more appropriate, was
Kinda.
was
In the right age
Booksmart.
range.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
Booksmart's
takes place
kinda-
in high school. Two high school girls, they're about to graduate, and they realized at the end of graduation that the kids that went out and partied got into the same universities that they did.
They wasted
Which is
all their
so true,
time
by the
studying.
way.
Wasted all that time studying and being good students when they could be out partying.
When they could have been out partying because
And how
the
true
other
that
kids.
is.
Yeah.
That's actually
How true that
I
is.
like that spin on it because it's not like the traditional, oh, we're nerds, but we're finally going to leash our
Yeah.
true selves and party with the rest of them. It's like we are nerds and we thought that we were working harder than everyone else, but that was meaningless because
Because high school doesn't matter.
Is that even a word? These slackies are also getting to the
Slackers.
same. Thank you.
Yeah.
Slackers are also getting to the
Could be
same.
slackies too.
I like that one. I'm sticking with that.
It's like a group of slackers.
yeah.
Gaggle slackies.
A gaggle of slackies. I love it.
I don't know if I like that.
I know I do. I'm sticking
I do.
with it. A gaggle of slackies.
Yeah.
I like the spin on it.
I thought it was really good. It's more appropriate in high school. I feel like, okay, if they do bad things, like get arrested, that's fine. They're in high school. They're on the cusp of adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
It's more appropriate for me. It's cool to see girls kind of in that role, like taking charge.
Yeah.
And of like their sexual relationships and their like
All
destiny.
the stuff that goes along with that.
And the one girl is from Last Man Standing.
She is.
She's awesome. So I'm really excited about her.
She's pretty good
in it. And I just thought the whole trailer was funny. It looked like maybe this generation's Juno, like with clever writing and funny one-liners.
That's
no pregnancy.
No pregnancy. Well, we don't know.
See, I would say
Yet.
this is. It's obviously another movie right after Good Boys, coincidentally, but it's kind of fair at this stage to say it looks like a gender swapped Superbad, because it's that same basic theme based on the things you're reading about. It's the theme of being with the only friends you've really known for school, but then naturally life happens and a lot of people go separate ways, so it's just kind of about that. So I feel like it's fair to compare it to Superbad at this point.
It's just a coming of age teen comedy where they all kind of have the same themes of finding yourself and
coming to terms with
throwing yourself
apart
out there
from your friends.
I think the coolest thing about this is that it's the directorial debut of Olivia Wilde.
Yeah.
Who showed this at South by Southwest, and it's like one of the most critically acclaimed movies that came out of
its buzz was through the
convention.
And
I
which
is
like
pretty exciting to hear.
South by Southwest is low grade, getting really good at picking finding films, because they were the ones that kind of were the first buzz for Get Out last year.
Oh yeah.
Or the year
That's right. Yeah, a year or two ago, right?
So Jordan Pele.
He's French, guys.
He's a director.
He is now.
Jordan, he's an artist.
He's an artist now.
Jordan Pele.
He debuted there and got so much buzz, and then that continued on through his run of Get Out, and
shops at Target
again. He debuted Us.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And
completely.
also got critical reviews. So it's nice to see like another something other than Sundance or Toronto and these other film festivals. Maybe give notice to these small films.
Speaking of Us, real quick, I saw this trailer before the screening for Us, and everyone was buzzing about that one the most. I mean, there was also like Avengers, and everyone was like, "Ooh, Avengers!"
Oh, you're talking about the Booksmart trailer,
right? But the Booksmart trailer was also on before.
It's such a good, funny trailer.
It is great, and clearly it shows, as it had one of the biggest reactions.
Nice.
So
yeah, I think it's going to be great. Its critical reception is phenomenal right now.
I think the only thing I'm a little concerned about is it's being distributed by a smaller film distribution company, United Artists Releasing, which was formerly Annapurna.
Right.
So it comes from the Annapurna division of that newly created company.
Yeah.
And we'll see what they do. They're going pretty wide with Missing Link, which is great. Like, it's nice to see a smaller film company go super, like 4,000 plus prints,
especially for an animated movie.
Yeah, on something. So I'm really hoping that Missing Link does well, because it would be nice to follow up with good product like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my one takeaway too, is that I'm curious how many theaters it's going to be able to expand to, because I do feel like there could be a big audience for this one. If the trailers have as good of reaction as we think they are doing right now.
Yeah, just keep fingers crossed, and hopefully word of mouth can do a lot.
I hope word of mouth does a lot for it, because it
hopefully,
looks hilarious. So that kind of concludes our revision of our last week's podcast.
Again, sorry for the delay.
Yeah.
We should be all good now.
We are very efficient, though. You missed out on a lot of good discussion last week, but that's okay. We'll get into great discussion on the next podcast, which we will be taping later today.
Awesome.
Yeah. And what are we going to do in the next one, guys?
We're going to talk about Us, because I was able to see it.
Movie Us.
Early reactions to Us.
Fact that Disney had to finally admit that they were at fault and go back to James Gunn.
Right. A big surprise last week.
We're real sorry, Jim.
Ezra Miller wanting to write his own version of the
Flash script. It's like, I'm through with waiting. I'm doing it myself.
I'm gonna be excited for that conversation. That one's gonna be good.
Guys, Fox Disney merger has happened. We need
we'll
to
get
just
to
discuss
that.
that. Ugh.
Yeah, we'll have some thoughts for sure.
The dawn of a new age.
Really though.
Yeah.
Disney
people-
overlords.
People don't realize.
And then we'll go over some trailers and how Toy Story 4 looks like a turd.
Looks
that's
like
strong
incredible.
words.
Brought
We're
a
gonna
tear to
have a
my-
discussion.
Brought a tear to my
There's
eye.
gonna be some good stuff. There's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
some
I
good
hope-
conversation.
I hope Woody dies in the end.
Oh my god.
It'd be
If he doesn't have a purpose, if he can't learn to live for himself, now that Andy's gone, he might
Oh my god.
might just
If
off
Captain
himself.
America's gonna die, Woody needs to die.
Good lord.
Well, she's the one who didn't like that he tried to save Forky from killing himself. So
Yeah, he shouldn't
she's
have
in
left-
favor of
he shouldn't
toy
have left the
suicide.
band.
Apparently.
God.
Yeah.
But we'll get to all of
It
that
wasn't
and more.
suicide, It was freedom.
No, it was suicide. We'll get to that.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So you'll be seeing
Two podcasts today.
Two podcasts going up at once over at silverscreeninsider.com, as well as all the trailers that we break down, all the articles that we're going to talk about in these podcast episodes. And also check us out on iTunes. We're up on there as well.
Yep. Go check out Preview and go watch that Good Boys trailer.
Yeah, watch all the
All you
trailers.
mamas out there,
Especially
tell,
the Toy Story
tell
4
me what
trailer.
you think.
Tell me what you think.
Make sure that I just did not have the only mama reaction to it. All right. Take
Okay.
care.
Bye.
Bye.